Hi guys, welcome to the Classicist Corner. I'm Kat and this is our special guest.
SJ, yay!
Okay, this bank holiday weekend we are doing a marathon of the unappreciated, or at least what we feel are the unappreciated Disney films. And even though it's not so unappreciated, I wanted to start off with Disney's Hercules because, well, it's the Classicist Corner and yeah, Disney's Hercules. So before we get into our thoughts on the film, I just want to do a quick background on it. It was made in 1997 and the Disney Studios wanted to make a pop culture mythical film off the back of Aladdin's success. So Aladdin did really well, they wanted something to follow that up on as a more adventure thing to appeal to boys in the same way that Aladdin had done. And it was made by Ron Clements and John Musker. And originally they didn't want to make the film, they actually wanted to make a different adaptation, which I'll get on to, but Disney said no, you have to make this film first, and the film they actually wanted to make was Treasure Planet, which we're actually going to watch that this weekend, but not on this channel, on one of my other channels. I'll put the link below anyway, maybe. So yeah, that's a quick background on the film. They originally were thinking of doing an Odysseus movie, but they thought that would be a bit complicated, so they went with Hercules instead because it was a very generic story and they wanted to tell more of a superhero story, so that's why they went with Hercules, even though they changed a lot of the myth. So SJ, what do you think of the film?
It holds up well. My sister was obsessed with it. She's not going to like me for saying that because I know she watches these videos sometimes. She was obsessed with it. I watched it many a time for many years on repeat, on video. We have the video somewhere in this house currently, but we've left it in the other room, so great. Yeah, but it held up quite well. Looking back on it now, I realise how weird the gospel singing is.
Yeah,
because it's Greek and then there's gospel singing.
Well, the creators wanted it to be a modernised version of the Greek chorus in the tragedies and comedies, so it was meant to line up with that. They also wanted it to have quite a Las Vegas feel, so they went with the choral practices of that, and I think the music design was really interesting. It has a really interesting history. Actually, there's quite a few books about it, which I would recommend, on the music design of Hercules. We do have another person in the room who knows more about music than I am, but she's not in the video. Any opinions off screen?
What?
Any opinions off screen on the music?
No, it was just very sort of modern, wasn't it? Very.
Well, modern for
appealing to
1997.
pop culture, yeah.
For 1997 modern.
Well, it's like there were lots of
Yeah.
references to modern culture throughout the entire thing, but I thought the music reflected that as well.
Yeah, so modern to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the references still hold up pretty well.
Most of them.
Yes.
Most of them.
Most of them are pretty dated though now. Some of them are pretty dated. I like the Air Hercs.
Yeah.
It's a reference to obviously the Air Jordans.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a thing. Obviously in sort of the classicist circles, lots of classicists of at least my generation sort of originally became interested in ancient Greek mythology because of films like Hercules, because of Disney's Hercules. And obviously there's sort of a period when you've studied it for a little bit where you start getting a bit judgmental of Hercules, where you're like, oh, it's all wrong and yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, because of, the elements of the Hercules myth are obviously Hercules was a demigod, the son of a Greek queen called Alkinoe, and Hera was the big antagonist. So making him Hera's son for the sake of the Disney audience can sometimes rub people the wrong way. The fact that they sort of villainize Hades in a way which isn't very attuned to ancient Greek myth, as in Hades doesn't really do much in ancient Greek myth, and there is a sort of a bugbear, which I will admit, where they sort of villainize Hades when they don't need to in a lot of films, which is annoying.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that in my Clash of the Titans remake film I did like last year, so that sort of element. But I think James Woods' performance is one of the best ones in this particular film, so you can't really judge this film for that choice.
I think I remember reading somewhere that they actually changed the character of Hades because of James Woods. As he was like with the Genie and Robin Williams, as James Woods was recording, they changed how Hades was portrayed on screen.
Yeah, I think they wanted to make him more of a traditional villain and more like sinister, and then James Woods' performance as the sort of car salesman type character. I think they wanted to change it more to that. But when it comes to Hercules, there is a much more fluidic element to his myths because there are so many Hercules myths. Like you do have the 12 labours, and which he does to make up for the murder of Megara and his children. So the line where Meg's like, when he's like, to Meg, I will never hurt you, or something similar. Well, that's funny to me because I'm sadistic.
Because it's not only a plot device, but it's actual.
Yeah, it's something there. There is a lot of references to the 12 labours, mainly in the song Zero to Hero. There's the 12 labours, that's kind of that, sort of. Because you have the Caledonian boar, the Scythian birds, and them. Really, my main classical bugbear isn't the addition of the myths, but how they Romanise everything. They make everything very Roman. In that the architecture, that's the word, is very Roman. They use the Romanised version of the name, probably so they can call him Herc.
Yeah.
I think that's why, because the 90s and you have to shorten a name to something, so they call him Herc.
Yeah.
That's probably why they went with Hercules instead of Heracles, his Greek name. They use Roman numerals. They speak Roman numerals if they're having to do a number, so there's a pun on that. But it does have a Greek setting, as in they're in Thebes. So there's a little bit of adjustment there. It's mainly Roman.
Mind you, that because they have the Roman element in it, well, they've combined the Greek and the Roman, for me as a complete and utter classics noob, putting it lightly, that it does actually make it simpler, so I can appreciate it a bit better.
Well, do you think that's because Roman iconography is a bit more common in
Yeah.
Western media?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
There is also different elements of... Hercules is also the more common ones. There are more films called Hercules, such as... Well, there's lots of films called Hercules. The Hercules TV show, with the New Zealand one, which Xena was a spin-off of, was going at the time. So that's what really... The name Hercules probably was also more recognisable. Yeah, I think it really holds up. I still enjoy it. The myth, it isn't the myth of Hercules, or any of the myths of Hercules. They wanted to go for more of a superhero, approachable way. But to be honest, I think when you're dealing with ancient Greek myths and trying to make them adaptable for children, other than changing them entirely, there's not a lot to do. And to sort of go off the Clash of the Titans video way back when, sometimes when it comes to myth, for modern audiences, it doesn't really matter that you change things as long as it stays at least a little bit true to the real core of it, and that it's fun and it's awesome, and I think Hercules does that. Although there is one tiny little thing on the aspect of heroics in terms of ancient Greek heroism. If Hercules had been an ancient Greek man as opposed to an ancient Greek man imaged by the 90s, him getting lots of money and lots of glory and lots of fame would have made him a true hero, and he would have been back of the gods, because they don't care about this pure heart rubbish. No, he would have just been there. The whole sacrificing thing wasn't really a thing back then. But the 90s, and still now. So yeah, I'm thinking about wrapping up. How do you feel? Final words?
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. We're going to carry on with this movie marathon, basically, which will be on another channel of mine. I'll put a link somewhere so you guys can find it for other Disney films. And I will see you guys next week with another Classicist Corner video. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye guys.
Bye.